Hello world, I'm Pirillo. I'm taking the temperature. Well, I'm not really taking my temperature, but I'm showing you what it's like to take your temperature with a smart thermometer. This right here is plugged into this. This has no screen. This is your screen, your smartphone, whether we're talking about an iOS device or an Android device, in conjunction with the Kinsa smart thermometer. And, by the way, as I continue to talk about this, I will let you know that I can get you a discount on this. That's not to say that it's not already reasonably priced at $25. This smart thermometer will, yes, take your temperature, but it's not that I believe is most interesting about the Kinsa smart thermometer. It's not the fact that it's cross-platform. It's the fact that it can better track each individual in your family. Or I suppose you could take the temperatures of strangers, but that probably isn't something that is, all that interesting. Normally, you take your temperature and then you're done. But do you log that? Who logs their temperature? At 8:04 p.m., my temperature was 104. You shouldn't be writing at that point. You should probably be seeing a physician. So, with automatic logging, with family management, and with an application that is, by the way, free to use, that when you're taking a kid's temperature, has little bubbles that pop up on the screen so that they'll sit still because you don't want them to move when you're taking their temperature. So when you go in to talk to a physician, you are armed with information, with data that your body is already generating. The app takes care of it for you. With this, and this, of course, if you wanted to, you could plug the Kinsa smart thermometer directly into the headphone jack on your phone, which I've done here, but, then you're doing that. Your phone's probably a little heavy. It may be light, but that's the reason why they include this cable, which allows you to extend. You can take someone's temperature from across the room. It's not that long. It's long enough. And another neat thing that the app does, and this is probably something more important for parents, but I think we all have thermometers at home. Maybe even some of us have upgraded to digital thermometers, but look, no batteries to replace on this. That's it, because it doesn't need it necessarily outright, or at least I haven't needed to use it now that I've got slobber all over my hands. It will also, the app will tell you the trends in your local community, like if there's an outbreak of this kind of fever or that kind of problem or this kind of issue, so that you know whether or not your child or maybe you are suffering from something that other people in your neighborhood might be suffering from, or the kid's school may have registered some kind of problem. I hesitate to name any specific issue, but we all know that sickness is a thing that happens, and thermometers are things that we probably already have. You may consider replacing your thermometer with something like this, if only because of the app. I'm a huge fan, as you very well know, not of wearables in general. I would not wear a thermometer. Not something that I would necessarily, want to do. But just having something that can better take the data that I'm generating anyway, and organize it in such a capacity that I am armed with intelligence. And that is what Kinsa is doing at an affordable level. That is why, even though it happened to be a sponsored review, this is now our go-to digital thermometer outright in the house. We need this. Everyone who doesn't have a digital, just a thermometer, period. You have one. I mean, I remember seeing them, throughout the years. Like, I remember one that was like a strip that you would put over your head, and then it would tell you how hot you were, and it was a little wonky. It wasn't exactly accurate. I would tell you, this is a hell of a lot more accurate these days. But you may consider doing the upgrade, and knowing that it's affordable, knowing that you can better track your condition, such that when you go into the physician, if something is an issue, you have data. You have data that there's no easier way to do, because who is honestly going to log stuff independently? So I am a fan of smart technology if it makes you smarter, and if it's a smart decision to make, and if it doesn't compromise you in any way, shape, or form. And I don't see a compromise in the Kinsa smart thermometer. So I just wanted to share that today. Believe it or not, there's nothing about this smart thermometer that is connected to Star Wars in any way, apart from it looking like a little lightsaber. Can you believe it? I did a Pirillo Picks portion of TLDR without, I did mention Star Wars, never mind. Almost made it. Okay, that's my take, that's my pick. Get it now before you need it. or wait until you need it. I wouldn't do that, though, when it comes to your health. Be preventative. Is that right? Is that the right thing to say? Take preventative measures, precautions, be armed with the data that you're already generating. I'm going to move on now to answer some questions from my patrons and then talk about today's news. If you want that, as well as the rest of TLDR, you can head over to chrispirillo.com. If you have a question for me, I'm happy to answer it. Again, sign up to become a patron. I'm here for you. chrispirillo.com. Today's free podcast highlight was brought to you by all of my active patrons from chrispirillo.com. If you want access to the full TLDR episodes, both audio, video, past, present, and future, which can be up to an hour long or longer, with even more tech insight from me every weekday, plus other bonus content without ads, and support me at the same time, you can sign up to become one of my supernomies too. This is just a brief taste of what I'm producing for you daily. Again, get more through chrispirillo.com.